Welcome to True Crime Stories for English Learners, where real-life mysteries meet clear and simple English.
The Van Gogh Museum robbery. It was early in the morning, December 7th, 2002, in Amsterdam. The city was quiet. The streets were dark. Most people were asleep. Near Museum Square stood the Van Gogh Museum, one of the most famous museums in the world. Inside were priceless paintings by Vincent van Gogh. That night, the museum looked safe. But suddenly, the silence was broken. A loud crash echoed through the building. Someone was breaking in. The Van Gogh Museum holds some of the artist's most important works. Paintings like View of the Sea at Scheveningen and Congregation Leaving the Reformed Church in Nuenen. These paintings were created in the early years of Van Gogh's career. They were not only beautiful, they were extremely valuable. The museum had security, alarms, cameras, guards, but like all systems, it was not perfect, and two men knew this. The thieves were two experienced criminals from the Netherlands. They were not art experts. They were not collectors. They were burglars. They had committed robberies before. They knew how to move fast. They knew how to escape. Their plan was simple: get in, grab the paintings, get out. They did not plan to sell the art to a museum. They planned to use the paintings as criminal currency. At around 3:15 a.m., the men climbed onto the museum roof. They used a ladder. They smashed a window. The alarm went off immediately, but the thieves did not panic. They climbed inside quickly. One of the men slid down using a rope. He ran through the gallery. He knew exactly where to go. Inside the museum, the man reached the wall where the paintings hung. He did not stop to admire them. He ripped two Van Gogh paintings off the wall. The frames broke. Glass shattered. He grabbed the canvases and ran. The entire theft took less than 2 minutes. By the time police arrived, the thieves were already gone. The men ran back to the roof. They climbed down the ladder. They disappeared into the night. When police entered the museum, they saw the damage: broken glass, empty frames, alarms still ringing. 2 Van Gogh paintings were missing. The news spread quickly. The robbery shocked the Netherlands. How could someone steal world-famous art so easily? Police studied the security cameras. They found images of 2 men moving quickly, wearing dark clothes. The footage was unclear, but police did find something important outside: a hat. The thief had dropped it while escaping. Inside the hat was DNA. Years passed. The paintings did not appear on the art market. They were too famous to sell openly. Then, in 2003, police arrested one of the thieves, Octave Durham, also known as Aki. His DNA matched the hat. He later admitted to the break-in. Durham was sentenced to 4.5 years in prison, but the paintings were still missing. For many years, no one knew where the paintings were. Some believed they were destroyed. Others feared they were hidden forever. But the truth was different. The paintings had been taken out of the Netherlands. They ended up in Italy. There, they were used by the Italian mafia as collateral. They were not decoration. They were leverage. In 2016, Italian police were investigating a mafia boss near Naples. During a search of his home, they opened a hidden room. Inside, wrapped carefully, were 2 paintings. Experts were called. They confirmed it. The missing Van Gogh paintings had been found. After 14 years, they were finally recovered. The paintings were returned to the Netherlands. Museum staff examined them closely. They were damaged, but repairable. In 2017, the paintings were displayed again at the Van Gogh Museum. Visitors could finally see them, not just as art, but as survivors of one of the most famous art thefts in history. The Van Gogh Museum robbery showed something important. Even famous museums can be vulnerable. Even priceless art can disappear in minutes. 2 men, 1 ladder, 1 fast decision. That was all it took. Today, museum security is stronger, but the story remains. A reminder that art is not only beautiful, it can also be a target. And sometimes, the journey of a painting is as dramatic as the art itself.
Another dark chapter closed, but the mystery of human nature continues. Thanks for listening to True Crime Stories for English Learners. Don't forget to subscribe and join me next time for another real story that's stranger than fiction.